These commercial hose bibs can be a little bit of a pain in the butt because sometimes these are recessed, and even on this one I don't think this T-handle would work because the handle or the T part hits this. It's also a bigger size than I have on here. So anyways, to make them a little faster and easier, especially when they're recessed, I typically knock the T out and use vice grips. But what I use probably a little more often, I mean, I'm a lot more okay with this getting stolen, so sometimes I'll leave that out in the open, whereas I won't leave this, but is just a 12-point socket. Those work great on fan bolts and any square bolt, but it'll just go right on there, super easy and fast to turn. Zip ties are great for keeping things together, almost like a keychain, but it's kind of annoying to get a new tie every time you want to add something or take something off. So what I typically do is just snip it right here, and then you can pull this little piece out. Then you can add your stuff and reuse that zip tie 10, 15, 20 times even. This is the screw out of an exhaust hood. How does this crap happen? I do not know, but I'm gonna fix it because it just, you can't get a Phillips in there anymore. It's just not working. It's now a flathead. On some roofs, you're not really sure if you're gonna use 2, 3, 4 water hoses or whatever, and I typically don't like to roll them out. I'd rather just rope them up to the roof. So one thing that you can do if you're by yourself is go ahead and cut the water on, and then just use vice grips that have some tubing on them to pinch the water off, and that way you've already got the water on. You only got to make one trip up the roof, and then when you're ready, you just let it loose. This works really well. It works well for other random things too, like if you're working on a car and you got to pinch off a radiator line or something like that. I really find these handy for different stuff. Well, I had a close call the other day. I had my ladder tied off, and I had to take my tie off the ladder so I could come down and put the ladder away. Well, it shifted on me real bad, and luckily nothing happened, but that caused me to think an idea. So here's what I thought of. I'm not saying you should trust your life to this, but it doesn't take a whole lot of force to hold a ladder in place. So what I've got here is this clamp. I've got a string tied on the one side over here. I just wrap that around and hold it under the jaw. Then I've got this little loop here going up to that lever. So, you know, like I said, not the sturdiest thing in the world, but you know, it'll keep the ladder from going one way or the other pretty well. But the reason I've got this string here is because you can pull it from down here and just pop it off there. As far as storing it, I just wrap the rope up in the jaws like that and just do that right there. I didn't use this today because I only had 4 filters and they're all the same size, but sometimes when you have multiple filters from the supply house and they didn't give you a box, if you got a box, a filter grabber works great, but without a box, you can just run a string through the cardboard lattice and then go down here through a loop and then tie that off to your rope, and you can take them right up. You just have to be a little gentle, you know, you don't want to, sometimes these will tear, but you just got to be careful, and you can get, you know, 8, 9, 10 filters up on a roof like that. So just figured I'd show that as well. All right, this is my favorite wrench right here. 6-inch Klein, and I lost my old one. I was so bummed. I even went back to the job site to try to find it. Could not find it. I wonder if somebody stole it or what. But anyways, got a brand new one here, and I'm going to show you how to void the warranty. So this wrench is perfect, except it needs to open just a hair wider in order to get off the suction service valve caps. So we're going to mark that right there and then modify it and see what happens. So in order to void your warranty, we want to roll it up like this and knock a tooth out or two. So let me do that and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, so I've taken a little bit of Decidin. Yes, you heard me right. Looks great for marking stuff. And if you look where this worm gear comes up and touches right there, that's where we need to cut an extra tooth. So that little white spot, that's where I'm going to cut a tooth with this little M12 grinder. I love this little guy. You can change directions as well. So in this case, because I need to get in like this, I'm going to have it running this way to shoot the sparks down there. Okay, I cut that tooth and I marked one more tooth. See if I can carefully cut that one as well. All right, here we go. So here's the original opening. The first tooth I cut gave me about to there. And then the last tooth I cut basically gives you as much as you... I wouldn't recommend using it out here, but you can basically take the jaw out at that point. So anyways, I'll have to get that lined up later. That's how you void your warranty on your brand new Klein wrench. And that's sort of what it looks like. Dremel may have left a little more here and prevented you from taking the jaw out, but I really don't mind. You're not going to lose this unless you leave it like wide open in your bag. But that's what it looks like. All right, if you don't already know, you can get a lot of these adapters. I just keep them all screwed together. But what they do is they go on a faucet and allow you to hook your hose on. So I'm going to be hooking up a hose to run some hot water into this ice maker bin and just melt everything off and clean the bin out and everything like that. So I'll show that in a minute. Okay, besides these three, and by the way, walking into Lowe's and just looking at what they have may be the best source for these. So besides those three, here's a few other adapters that come in handy. This one, you can just take this out if you need to adjust the size, but that'll clamp on a lot of things. This is for a shower. Believe it or not, sometimes a locker room is the best source of water, like a shower in a locker room. That's what that's for. That's just a PEX fitting. Okay, this one here is just part of a frost-free hose bib, and you can see I've brazed all those little holes shut. And sometimes these bite the dust and, you know, they freeze and stuff, and this can really come in handy if that's your only source of water. You just take out the bad faucet head and screw this one in and use it for the day and then remove it. But anyways, just thought I'd show that as well.